Hello, welcome back to another episode of Debunking Fitness by Kay. I'm Kay, I'm your host. My name is Kirsten, and welcome to another week. This week, let's do updates. Hopefully, the sound is better. I think last week it was way better. So, yay, win, amazing. This last week, I went to the Renaissance Fair. Dressed up as a Viking. It was great. Had a turkey leg, even better. What else? Super fun. My brother came into town. We worked on our costumes, played lots of pickleball, and this week I've been working like a dog. Same with last week, I think. Pretty sure. Been doing all sorts of event coverage, covering lacrosse games, covering, what did I do last night? I was at a tennis match. I was like, it's not softball. I was thinking softball. Tennis match. But yeah. And what I mean by that, for those people who are brand new to this, like, what did you mean? What did you mean by covering those? I am an athletic trainer, and I provide medical coverage for all sorts of sports. I'm there for the people who get hurt. I'm there for the emergencies. I'm there to be the medical middleman, to see what's going on and give people next steps, and manage whatever I can, and give people game plans. And that's kind of what I do, like, in my freelance position, freelance, per diem, that kind of stuff. But if I were more full-time, like working at a high school, like the high school that I covered yesterday, then I would be more doing like rehab care with ongoing injuries and students that are already there that are hurt. I would be covering practices. I would be covering games. I would be just kind of there every single day, either doing nothing, being there for practice, or being there for games and doing the same thing, making sure people don't get hurt. Once they get hurt, giving them a game plan. But the difference there is that once people do get hurt, if it's their athlete, then they get to continue care and go through next steps with them and help them rehab to be even better than whenever they first got hurt. And that's the whole goal. Anyway, a little tangent there. What else? What else am I doing? What else do I have coming up? I'm trying to go no caffeine, because I have a problem and I'm trying to get it in check. I love all sorts of caffeine. I love energy drinks. I'm a big Celsius Alani girl. I really love tea, coffee. That's about it, actually. Just coffee and tea and Celsius. Anyway, I've been consuming too much because I've been working too much, and so I'm like, girl, you gotta slow down. Anyway, so let's talk about what we're talking about today. I love this topic. It is very near and dear to my heart. This topic is all about gut health, bloating, and period talk, because I'm a girl and I like to coach women. So this is the thing that we talk about. Anyway, so this topic is literally just about like what to do, how you can help manage it, how you can help reduce the bloat, especially around your period. And it's not 100% going to get rid of everything, but it is going to make it a whole lot better than I think that you've previously probably had it. That's what I'm here for, all tips and tricks. So this one's not necessarily debunking a myth. This one is kind of just talking about a health and fitness topic that I feel really passionate about. So let's get into it. And then I'm going to bring this up now too. So we're going to talk about gut health, bloating, your period. Cool. And then at the very end, my podcast is called Debunking Fitness by Kay. You can't have debunking in the title if you're not going to debunk ghosts. So we have a ghost story at the very end that is called Haunted House in London. And it's all about somebody's experience with a haunted house in London. It's a lengthy one. I think it's pretty cool. And so I have that at the very end. So if you like spooky stories, stay to the end. If you're like, I just want the info and I want to get out, I'll warn you before I go into the topic, and read somebody's story about their haunted house in London. So you can drop off then. Totally fine. Totally get it. Makes sense. But yeah, that's kind of what we do here is I give you a health and fitness myth, topic, whatever. We talk about it. And then I move right into ghost story. We talk about it. So let's talk about bloating, gut health, your period, and what's really happening to your body. So let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered why your digestion just feels absolutely out of whack during your period, or even outside of your period? If you're just always like, I am bloated all of the time and I don't know what to do, then this episode is for you. We're talking about all things bloating, gut health, and what's actually happening during your cycle. So let me tell you this. This is very near and dear to my heart. I am someone who has struggled with this for so long. And I've gotten a really good grasp of it over the years. And I will tell you, disclaimer, I am currently menstruating right now and I'm bloated right now. But I can tell you why. And I'll preface this by, just because I'm a health coach does not mean that I'm perfect. Okay? Nobody's perfect. Everybody falls short. So, but I am doing a pretty decent job, okay? I'm not failing, but I'm also definitely seeing some gaps that I could absolutely minimize and make my condition better, but just haven't because I'm busy and I don't have time to go to the store, and I am gone from my house for like 14 hours out of the day. Anyway, long working days. Oh, and then before I dive into the story, I mentioned that I'm a health and fitness coach, or I'm a health coach. I am an outdoor performance coach. Basically, I help women who want to get better in their outdoors activities, who want to perform better. For those girlies who say, I can't do a pull-up, I'm for you. I can't back squat my weight, I'm here for you. I can't do X, Y, and Z. Also, the AC just turned on, so if you hear that, I apologize. That is a new thing in this episode because now it's getting hot. Anyway, but I am for those girls who want to be outside more, love being outside, but want to be more capable outside. Want to be more capable in all of the things that they want to do, want to be more capable in the adult sports that they're picking up, all of those things. So if that's you, check out my Instagram, Performance by K. Check out my website, linked at the bottom of this video, www.performancebyk.com. Check those things out. I've got, I'm working on building like a quiz or something on my website. That is fun. I have no idea what the topic is going to be, but that is something in the works where it is just maybe a how fit are you type quiz, or how good is your post outdoor activity nutrition or whatever, just to see how you fare compared to where you should be, kind of thing. So, side tangent away. Personal story, okay? I struggle with gut health. I hate it. I am always bloated. It makes me feel bad. It makes my stomach feel like it's about to explode. I never fit in my clothes. I'm always uncomfortable. I'm always aware of everything that I'm wearing all of the time, and my gut and my stomach area, and it makes me self-conscious, okay? Totally get it. I am there, and it is mostly during my period that this happens the most. Outside of the period, totally fine. But inside the period, things change a little bit. That's okay. That's so normal. So we're going to talk about why bloating happens, especially around your cycle, how gut health is linked to your hormones. Hormones drive everything in the female body. My gosh. That is I drive that home with people. And here are some, and we're also going to be talking about some research-backed ways so that you can reduce your bloating and improve your digestion. So first thing first, what is bloating? Keep saying it. What the heck is it? Bloating is a temporary feeling. It is not all of the time, but it is a temporary feeling of fullness, tightness, or gas buildup in your digestive system, in your abdomen. Your digestive system is full of microbiomes. I'm sure you've heard this. You have a whole plethora of bacteria that live in your gut. You have healthy bacteria and you have unhealthy bacteria. And the whole role of that gut microbiome is to help just influence your digestion and to run your digestion. They are what help you poop. And so it is, it's mostly good bacteria, and that's kind of what you want, but sometimes can be harmful bacteria. Okay. But they also play a massive role in your bloating. A study in 2020 in nutrients found that a diverse gut microbiome can actually help regulate digestion and reduce bloating. And so here's some common triggers of bloating. Poor digestion. So you have low fiber, high processed food intake. Low fiber meaning you don't eat more, or you don't eat the recommended amount of fiber a day, which is, I think for women it's a little bit higher than men, or vice versa. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's about 30 grams of fiber a day is what you should be eating. And most people maybe eat like 10, maybe, depending on what your diet consists of. If it's mostly processed food, you're not going to get there. Anyway, another common trigger of bloating is a high sodium intake, because that causes water retention. Your body fluctuates in the levels of water that it holds onto every single day, and the higher sodium that you have, the higher amount of water retention that you have. And then there's also another trigger, gut imbalance. So it could be dysbiosis or just inflammation within there. So something in your gut is going wrong. Something in the microbiome is off. This is a quote from that study that I found. But gut microbial imbalances are linked to increased gastrointestinal distress, including bloating and irregular bowel movements. So now we know if your gut microbiome is off, it can lead to a lot of just gut distress, which I'm sure a lot of you people feel, or irregular bowel movements. And I'm talking about the irregular bowel movements outside of having coffee. Coffee helps induce bowel movements, but if you're not drinking coffee every single day, you start to notice the gaps of your gut microbiome, and how if you're not producing a bowel movement once a day, something's going a little awry there. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about menstrual cycle in this, okay? Your menstrual cycle has a massive role in your gut. It can really change everything on a dime. So hormone changes and digestion, they go hand in hand. So two of your hormones that tend to increase, I think your estrogen increases and progesterone decreases. Don't quote me on that. But your estrogen and your progesterone are two period hormones that change the most. They fluctuate the most while bleeding, while you're on your cycle. And they can impact your water retention and gut motility a ton, which basically means that it can help you hold on. They cause you to hold on to more water in your system to help lubricate all the things that are going on in your period. All the bleeding, all the repairing, all that. And then it also will slow down your gut motility. So that basically means like the speed at which poop moves through you, and how well that goes through you. A study in 2019 in Frontiers in Endocrinology found that progesterone slows down digestion, leading to bloating and constipation. So progesterone is one massive period hormone, and it is proven that it will slow down your digestion. The fluctuation of ovarian hormones significantly influences gut fluctuation, leading to changes in bowel habits and bloating. That is a quote from that. So, you actually tend to also hold on to water a little bit more before your period. And then that's mostly from cravings. It's not your fault. It's your hormones telling you to hold on to some stuff. But higher progesterone always equals more water retention, which can cause that temporary bloating. And then salt and carb cravings can also contribute. Whenever you have a high carb diet, oh my gosh, my speaking is all over the place. But whenever you have a high carb diet as well, that tends to increase your water retention. So salt, carbs, specifically those highly processed ones, which also have more salt in them, and all of those things tend to happen before your period. You get a lot of cravings before your period and you eat whatever you want. Mostly it's carbs, and that causes you to hold on to a little bit more water, which makes you feel thick. It's normal, it's natural. And then bowel changes during your period. So the bowel changes from the increased prostaglandins can cause diarrhea or loose stools. I don't know if you've ever heard this, but during your period, sometimes people will describe their period as having a loose bowel. They tend to poop a lot more during their period. This is not something that I experience a ton, but I have experienced it before. It's very fascinating. But that comes from increased prostaglandins during your period. And then before your period, you have a lot more slower digestion building up to it, causing that constipation, higher in progesterone. So all your hormones can really like nail you in a coffin sometimes, which is why during your period you feel this so much more. So now we've talked about, okay, like how it all affects each other, what's the digestive system, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now how do we reduce it? Kirsten, how do we reduce it? You've been talking all about it, Kirsten. How do we reduce it? I'm going to tell you, okay? It's not 100% guarantee every single body is different. This is the disclaimer. This will not completely get rid of your bloating, but it will help significantly. It will help significantly, okay? You can't get rid of hormones during your period. They're going to happen. Cravings, they're going to happen. Whether you have the mental capacity to push through them or to just give in to them, that's on you, okay? But these are some things that will absolutely help you. So, number one, eat more anti-inflammatory foods. So these can be your high fiber whole foods, fruits, vegetables, fermented foods. These will help you balance gut bacteria. And a lot of studies do show that those high fiber whole foods help a ton with your gut bacteria. So the best foods in this category are going to be your leafy greens. So like your kale, your spinach, that kind of stuff. Your bananas, you know what a banana is, ginger, probiotic yogurts, and kimchi. And I will also add into this section kombucha as well. That's not necessarily a food, it's a drink, but it will help all of this stuff because it has probiotics in it. So number one, eat more anti-inflammatory foods. Number two, to reduce bloating is to stay hydrated. So it seems so backwards, but whenever you are feeling bloated, it can cause, it's from water retention, from salt. The more salt you have in your system, the more your body wants to hold on to water because because of the, what is it called? It's like a hydrophobic, just a hydro imbalance, whatever. Basically, is it symbiosis? What is it? I give up. It's fine. Hormone or harmonious balance, I guess. If I can't think of the word. And I'm sure if you're watching this, you're like, it's this. Girl, I don't know. My brain's not working. It's like six something in the morning. So your body needs to have more water to reduce that salt increase, to reduce the water retention. So if you have a lot of salt in your system, you have more than what your body is used to. Therefore, to balance itself out, your body holds on to more water to balance out the increase in salt. Whenever you drink more water, you allow the system to flush out a lot of those salts and to create a better balance, so the body does not feel like it needs to hold on to the water as much. It feels like it can cycle it better. So it will help reduce that water retention because you are constantly introducing water into your system. So, a 2018 study in the American Journal of Gastroenterology found that drinking 2.5 to 3 liters of water a day, every single day, reduces bloating and constipation. So, if you are a girl who has a ton of bloating and constipation, drink 2.5 to 3 liters of water every single day. And I'm not sure what that correlates to in gallons, but let me think about this. I think 1 liter is like 38 fluid ounces, give or take. So 3 of those is 108, right? No, 120. Okay, it's like about a gallon of water. Okay, it's like 100. I'm gonna say 117. If you did the math, did I do it right? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, so 117 and a gallon of water is 128. So you're looking at somewhere between, I want to say 90 to 120 fluid ounces of water. That's going to help reduce your bloating and constipation. Water, water, water. Okay, number 3, things to support your gut microbiome. So probiotics and prebiotics. They help your feel-good bacteria, all of that good bacteria in your gut, feel fed and increase those because we want the good bacteria in our gut. So best sources of those are going to be your yogurt, your kefir, sauerkraut, onions, garlic. Sounds backwards, but those are so good because onions, garlics have those prebiotics for you, and probiotics, yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut. Actually, I think sauerkraut is more prebiotic. Yogurt and kefir are probiotics. Okay, all of those things in combination will help your gut feel so amazing. And then number 4, reduce bloating. There's an app. Is to reduce your salt and processed carb intake. Carbs are not bad, okay? Carbs are not the villain. Do not take that away from this episode. Carbs are super, super important for you. Don't decrease them too much. But a lot of the American diet is very high in carbs. For example, the other day, I had a terrible diet. It was garbage. I had fruit snacks and applesauce pouches and oatmeal, which is a good carb, but the fruit snacks and the applesauce pouches were not. And my my food tracking was like 80% carbs and then like 5% fat and then like 15% protein or whatever, because I had like eggs too, I think, or something like that. But I had high carb foods, and that is too high in the diet. So you want to aim for, if you're tracking your foods, which you should be if you have goals, you want to aim for somewhere between 45 and 65% of your food coming from carbs. That's kind of what the FDA recommends as the amount that will make you the healthiest. Okay, so 45 and 65 is your healthy amount. And those healthy carbs, we've talked about this before, they're going to be your whole food carbs, fruits, vegetables, high fiber carbs, high fiber carbs, which is going to be your whole wheat, your rye, barley, brown rice, oats, all that stuff are good sources of carbs. So aim for those. Do not eat a Twinkie and think that it's good for you. Do not eat a piece of cake and think that it's good for you, okay? Because those things are just high in really processed sugars and carbs. They're good for the soul, and I think you should still eat them. But as far as eating it as a meal, it's not going to help your gut, okay? Straightforward, not going to help your gut, okay? So number 4 was reduced salt and processed carbs before your period. Excess sodium causes water retention, which will make your bloating way worse. So swap out a lot of these processed foods for potassium-rich foods. Potassium is a good electrolyte type of source of mineral, which will help balance out the sodium. So those foods are going to be like sweet potatoes and avocados. Those will help you balance out those fluids. Plus, avocados are a really good source of a healthy fat. And then number five is my favorite. Move your body. And I'm not saying go run a marathon. I'm not saying go to a CrossFit gym and lift as heavy as you can. But movement during your period, light movement like walking or yoga, helps reduce your bloating by improving your digestion and your gas clearance. Moving helps move things through you. So here's a quote from the 2021 study in the Journal of Sports Science and Medicine. And they said, mild to moderate physical activity significantly enhances gut motility, reducing bloating and discomfort. Gut motility is basically the movement of things through your gut. Gas, poop, all the things. So move more. Do yoga, do walking, do some light stuff, go swimming. All of that stuff will help a ton with bloating discomfort. And last but not least, how do we, sorry, my hands are here because I have notes on my computer. You're leaning against my computer, so if you see my hand, if you're listening to this on Spotify or wherever I have it, doesn't apply. Okay. Last but not least, how do we improve our gut health long term? Okay. Not just our periods, all of the time. Okay. How do we make it better all of the time? So consistency is key. If you struggle with chronic bloating, this is a sign that you need to look at your gut health and see where you can make improvements. And I guarantee you can always make improvements. And if you are doing everything picture perfect and awesome, maybe go consult a doctor at that point. But these are the things that will improve you. Let's talk about it. Okay. Eat more whole foods and fiber daily. So that is going to be shooting for 30 grams of fiber a day. 30 grams. Okay. Number 2, limit artificial sweeteners and processed foods. They just disrupt the gut bacteria. Okay, they're not going to help in any way, shape, or form. Number 3, reduce your stress and improve sleep. High cortisol affects your digestion a ton. It affects your hormones a ton, which can lead to water retention and it can lead to the bloating. Okay, so reducing your stress, yoga, meditation, so amazing for this, and improve your sleep. Sleep is the magic cure-all. I love sleep. Sleep helps so much. If you were to do one thing, here's a little dichotomy for you. This is a hot take right here, but I have always thought that if I had a really busy day and I'm very sleep deprived and I cannot make time into the gym because I worked 14 hours or whatever, I will not stay up late to go to the gym. I value better sleep than hitting the gym, because if I miss one day at the gym, if I'm consistently going, missing one day will not break me. It will not decrease all of my gains. I will not become a frail, skinny girl. It will not ruin the train that I'm creating. Okay, it will not wreck it, but increasing your sleep will help manage absolutely everything you've got going on. So if I'm in a pinch and I'm like, but I haven't gone to the gym yet and it's 11 p.m. but I need to wake up at 5 a.m. and I'm just not going to get enough sleep, but I didn't go to the gym today, just go to sleep. It's going to do so many more things for you than going to the gym and then going to sleep. Get more sleep. It helps regulate all of the systems in your body to help you be more effective in your workouts, in your life, in your brain. Okay, there's my hot take. So those are the things you need to do. Actionable steps. Eat more foods and fiber. Limit your artificial sweeteners and processed foods, and reduce your stress and improve your sleep. And supplements that may help you out if you're like, okay, I've done all those things and I'm still struggling. Supplements that may help are magnesium. Magnesium reduces water retention and it helps with period-related constipation. Magnesium. Number 2 is probiotic supplements. So they can help balance your gut bacteria a ton. So if you are wanting a little bit more probiotics in your life, like for example, me, I can't have yogurt. I have a lot of kombucha and probiotics that I take in pill form. I have a lot of garlic, ginger, onions, and all of those things. I should eat more sauerkraut and I should eat more kimchi. But those are very acquired taste things, and I haven't acquired the taste for them yet. Probiotic supplements help out a ton. And then lastly, a supplement that might help is peppermint oil and ginger tea. Both of those things are shown to reduce bloating naturally. So if you are on your period and you are like, I can't fathom eating ginger right now, grab yourself some peppermint and ginger tea, okay? I'm sure they do the combo, and if they don't, grab peppermint tea, grab ginger tea, and mix them together. Put 2 and 2 together so you get a little concoction. and that will help you out a ton with reducing that bloating naturally. So, key takeaways. Let's chat. Bloating, absolutely normal. Hormone fluctuations can make it a little bit worse, but this is a normal, natural thing that your body goes through. Your gut health plays a major role in digestion and bloating, and you have to take care of that to help reduce these symptoms that you absolutely hate. I absolutely hate them, but I got to take care of my gut, and that's how I'm going to fix it. Research-backed ways to reduce bloating are eating fiber and probiotic-rich foods, hydrating and moving your body, reducing your sodium before your period, specifically if you're a period menstruating girl. If you're not, then this doesn't apply to you. Just try not to have a whole lot of sodium, more than the RDA, which I think is it's like 1,000 milligrams, I think, per day. Don't quote me on that. I think it's 1,000. Maybe it's 1,500. Maybe it's 2,000. Somewhere in there. Don't have more than it. If you eat a lot of processed jerkies, you're already reaching it every single day. So keep that in mind. And then number 4, research-backed ways to reduce your bloating is to manage your stress and to get more sleep. Your period is not the enemy. Your gut is not the enemy, okay? It's just learning how your body reacts to your hormonal shifts, and learning to work with it, not against it. So if you're listening to this and you've made it to this portion, I encourage you to track your symptoms of your gut health, notice some patterns, and start incorporating more probiotic-rich foods and movement and water into your day, and it'll help reduce that bloating so much. Fiber, probiotics, water. Get that gut moving and move more. Move with your gut. Move more. Gut motility. Yeah. Oh, and then the caveat that I said at the very beginning, where I was like, I could do better in this category, is the high fiber foods. I don't think I get enough fiber in my day, and that is an area that I can absolutely improve in. So I'm going to work on that. That is a goal of mine this coming month, along with doing more yoga. I love yoga. Okay, that is what I've got for you today in the realm of period talk and gut health and all of that stuff. So I feel like that's what we got here for you. So if you liked this topic, if you feel encouraged about this topic, tag me on Instagram. Tell me your go-to bloating remedy. I want to hear what you guys have to say about all of this. My Instagram is @performancebyk. Tell me all of your things. I love hearing all of your things. And then last but not least, we're getting into our ghost story, which I love. So this is the haunted house in London. So if you don't want to hear this, thank you for listening. I appreciate you guys so much. If you have any questions, health and fitness questions, go to my Instagram, shoot me a DM. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you guys have. Visit my website. Keep an eye on it. I have a very fun quiz coming on it. And if you're interested in being coached by me, again, DM me on Instagram, shoot me a message, and just say, DM me the word bloating, and I know exactly what you're talking about, and that you want some more help in coaching. So if you want to be coached, DM me bloating. If you have questions about my coaching, DM me bloating. If you are curious about what I offer and what I do, DM me bloating. And I'll know exactly what you're talking about. Okay, perfect. Well, let's get into the story. This is a long story, so we are in it for fun. So this one is called Haunted House in London. So, let's get into it. I've never been the kind of person to believe in ghosts. I'm a non-religious guy, but I've seen some odd things in my 26 years, but nothing to convince me 100% that the paranormal is legit. However, I have one interesting experience that tends to get interest and honestly has made me question my stance on the paranormal ever since. About 6 years ago, I was a 20-year-old student living in London. My latest flat contract had run out and I needed a place to live ASAP. I had very little money and felt very guilty needing my parents to be a guarantor, so as any broke Londoner would do, I Googled the cheapest place possible, somewhere I could move into that day or the next day. That's how last minute this was. And I was fortunate, or in actual fact, misfortunate, to find a place available to move in that day. Contract signed, I had a place to live. I moved into this detached house with all of my stuff the following day. It was a dirty house, but the flat occupants were all 20 to 30-year-olds, 4 of them, and very friendly. The area was quiet and I felt reasonably comfortable. Weird noises and objects started to move. So this house was always damp and cold. It was autumn, so it's not surprising, but it was always an unpleasant atmosphere. The garden was overgrown and creepy. The windows that faced it were scratched, cracked, and looked very dirty. The hallway lights didn't always work, so the entire interior of the living room and hallways connecting to the rooms were pitch black at night. The bathroom was just something else. On my first night after speaking to one of my new flatmates, I was told that they have all experienced weird noises, especially scratching on the blackened window in the bathroom. I laughed this off as nonsense, probably a tree brushing it when it gets windy outside. So after a couple weeks, I finally started noticing weird occurrences in the building. My room's window faced the driveway, and I like to keep my curtains closed just because it was a west-facing room, and I didn't like the sunlight pouring in and blinding me every single day. So I would close the curtains in the morning, head to class, come home, and find the curtains opened more than halfway. This happened every day. In fact, I could come home from class, close them again, go out to work or to see friends, and then come home to open curtains. Yet when I was in the room for hours on end, they never moved when they were closed. A bit weird, huh? My windows were closed/locked, and so was the bedroom door when I was not there. I was the only one with a key, I hope. Also above me was an attic. No one lived up there. It was a locked storage room, I'm guessing, but at night I could hear what sounded like foot stomping, 2 people walking around, kids running, and sometimes whispers. A bit freaky. But I thought maybe someone in the house had access to this room and was using it at night for who knows what. But no one was up there. That was a weird sentence. But no one else was up there. The room was locked, and I would sometimes at night go up the stairs to the door and try to get in to see who was in there, but no luck. Never saw anything, but could always hear these footsteps. This part is relevant later on. One of my flatmates was a very religious man. I could hear him pray 5 times in a day, and was always very friendly and open to talk about his faith and listen to me stress about the awful state of the house. But he himself did not hear or notice anything weird other than the unhygienic state of the house. He decided that at one point he was going to head home to Algeria for a few months with his room locked. New flatmate. So after about 6 to 7 weeks of living there, one of the other occupants moved out and a room was available there. I told a friend of mine that was as desperate as I was weeks prior, and he moved in within a few days and things were great. He worked and went to the same university, so it was cool hanging out with a friend. I told him the stories. Due to his religious beliefs, he wasn't a believer in ghosts. And like me, he wasn't fazed by the stories, but he began to notice things too. The same stomping noises upstairs and scratching windows, my curtains opening up on their own. He felt like he was being watched all of the time, and he noticed that the shed in the garden had a broken panel and could easily imagine somebody being inside, sometimes watching us in the kitchen when we made food. Routine pest control opened the shed during a visit one day and found 6 dead rats and a pile of hollowed out bees in there. Creepy, but no monsters. My friend and I were eating dinner after work in the kitchen one night, and I was facing him and the door to the hallway, while he was facing me and the sliding glass door that gave access to the overgrown jungle garden behind us. I remember seeing him turn pale, jump to his feet, and ask me in a very frightened tone, "Can you come to my room?" I laughed and asked why, and he said, "No, seriously, can you please just come to my room, please?" Not a joke. He then bolted to his room like he was running away. I finished my sandwich with the last bite, didn't even think to turn around and see what he was so spooked about. Got to his room, he locked the door, he sat on his bed, and he turned on his PlayStation. And after a few minutes, he calmed down and he started playing. He told me that he saw something in the garden, a woman in a white dress. She walked across the garden, 1/2 meter from the glass, and she almost floated past. But then she vanished. He kept saying, "We have to leave, we have to leave, we have to leave, we have to leave." and that the noises were one thing, but when you see something, everything changes. The room scarred him and everyone else the most. Another flatmate told him, my room scared him. My room scared him and everyone else the most. Another flatmate told us that they thought they'd seen me in my room peering at them on the driveway through a 20-centimeter gap in my curtains one night. They said they saw a shape of a person's head, but I wasn't there that night or on any of these other occasions mentioned, and I certainly don't peer at people through my window. Things got worse. 2 nights after the kitchen incident, I'm awoken around 3 or 4 in the morning. My friend is banging on my door in the pitch blackness of the hallway. I open it and he comes in shaking with fear, saying that his bed was vibrating and moving and that he can't stay here any longer. The next day he speaks to a friend, has a place to stay, so packs up most of his stuff and is gone. Within a few days, another person left, a little creeped out but mostly annoyed with the poor state of the house. At this point, we're the last remaining occupants and all looking for alternative living arrangements. Remember the religious guy that went back to Algeria? He's been gone for months now and hasn't returned. The landlord makes a visit one day and, as he has a spare key, decides to inspect the room to make sure everything is okay. So he opens it up and we all go in. Wow, his room was absolutely amazing. It was warm, cozy, not damp or cold, and it was honestly like a different house. It was nice. My last night there, I decided to move in with my partner who had avoided this house the entire time I'd lived here, maybe visiting once or twice. She hated it. She hated being there and she always felt uncomfortable. On my last night, I again heard weird noises, but this time it was in the hall, and I was aware that I was home alone that night, as the only other flatmate left was on holiday. It was, as was always, very dark when I opened the door. No one was there. I walked into the living room, and the window at the back faced this side of the house was making weird scratching noises. I needed to use the bathroom, and as a necessity, I had to carry a torch or a flashlight. He's British. I had to carry a flashlight to do the job during these hours. I walk into the bathroom, do my business, and as I'm zipping my shorts, my flashlight briefly shines over the window. And for some odd reason, I looked, expecting to see something, but I didn't. I walk out of the room. I don't know why, but I decided to take a look at a window again without the flashlight. I saw a shape of a large man. I went back to my room, locked my door, and all night I heard foot stomping upstairs in the attic. I couldn't sleep, so I moved all of my things into a pile in the middle of the room, sat on the bed, and waited for sunrise. I got a taxi in the morning and finally got out of there. You couldn't pay me to go back. And that's it. That one is so creepy. I really like that story a lot. I think that one's pretty believable, honestly. I will say, though, I would have cleaned the house or something. Like, it kind of makes me feel like sometimes boys' apartments can be a little messier than girls' apartments. Not always, but sometimes. And I feel like those guys didn't really try to clean it at all, so they just kind of like left it in like a gross state, which is interesting. So I feel like, one, you should have tried to clean it and see what happened, so that it didn't creep you out as much or feel so gross or something. 2, maybe you should have put like night lights in the hallway or something. Maybe that one have felt better. I feel like you should just like, you should have tried to improve the house a little bit and see what happened. But nonetheless, that's really creepy. I have always wanted to experience something like that. I feel like if I were there, I would have tried to make friends with whatever ghost spirit, whatever was there. I would have tried to communicate with it. I would have tried to do some research on the house, see if anything had happened there, see what was going on. And if it was something that everyone was experiencing, like, I would have tried to learn more. I think it's really interesting that the religious guy was his face was completely unaffected almost. That's a big yawn. Sorry. I feel like sometimes that could be from his persistence. And it could be that he didn't get so persistent until he started living in that house. So now I'm curious if he still lives there, if he's going back and he's going to be the only one there. So that's a little spooky, but that was a really good story. I really like that story. Very creepy. And I honestly don't know how I would react if I lived in a house like that. I don't know if I would want to get out of there or if I would be like, ooh, fun. I don't know. I guess it kind of depends on the vibes that you would get. So, anyway, that's my story. Or, yeah, that's my ghost story. That's my episode. That is the whole shebang. Thank you guys for listening. If you made it this far, I appreciate you so much. I try to post videos every single Wednesday now instead of Monday. I found Monday was really hard. This one's getting posted on Thursday, so who am I to say that I'm posting it on Wednesday? I'm trying my best, okay? I'm trying my best. I'm a busy lady. If you have any questions for me, if you have any myths, if you have any nutrition questions, whatever that you want to hear, comment on this video, ask your questions, comment on this on Spotify, ask your questions, and I will cover them in another topic, in another episode. I will cover them, and I will go full depth into them. So if you have anything that you are curious about, you want to learn more about, if you want to hear about, if you want to be busted, myth busted, comment them below. But thanks for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. And I'll see you guys next week. See ya.